a trouser of say 100,000 naira or boots of 30,000. You understand? To do what with it? You see, don't you see all these multi-billionaires? Don't you see the lifestyle they are playing? Somebody was having a Nokia, that Nokia 1100. He said, even with that, you know that I am richer than your father. I don't have to hold an iPhone. You understand? But because you don't have anything, that's why you want to show that you are holding a Pro Max, 14 or 15 or 16 Pro Max. But that doesn't need 17 Pro Max. Even with Nokia, you know that he's multi-billionaire. I hope you are getting it. Even with a yard of 500 naira, you know he's a multi-billionaire. I hope you are getting it. So that one is rubbish. It's rubbish. So therefore, you test the opens in their abilities. There are people, when they have money, they will take friends, you understand, they will be going to evening show, they will be going from one restaurant to another, from this park to this park, you understand, from this hotel to this hotel, just spending the money lavishly. So you know that there is no financial maturity here. Therefore, he is not worse. Releasing that money to him is not worse. Don't give him the money, because when you give him the money, he's going just to spend it wastefully. Allah says until they reach marriageable age. So until they reach marriageable age, is that when you give them the money? No. That is the time you are asked to test him. You cannot test him when he is in the age of childhood. But when he reaches marriageable age, so Allah says, فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا, then if you perceive in them sound judgment at that age. How are you getting it? So this is telling you that reaching marriageable age is not the condition for you to release his money. But rather, it is the age or the stage at which you are to test him, at which you are to perceive in them whether there is sound judgment or there is no sound judgment. So Allah says, if at that age you perceive in them sound judgment, then release their property to them. So saying perception here doesn't mean you have to see things with your naked eyes. How are you getting it? So because Allah says, but in earnest, so when you perceive, it's not saying that, it's not referring to sense perception, but rather the evidence. How are you getting it? Evidence of his maturity. That is simply what Allah is referring to. Maybe you hear people commending him that the guy or the child is very mature, that he is very good in business, or you see his properties, his shop is always increasing. You understand his account, you understand he's always recording profit, or the type of life he's playing. Let me tell you, most of these rich men you see them with an old Okada or an old car or a very one car. They can afford far more than that. Far more than that they can afford. But because they are looking at the abilities, it's only a government worker who knows. He's the only one where you will go to his house, you see a number of cars there. Any car you see Mercedes-Benz, you see 406, you see Jeep, you see Lexus, you see Halo, you see all cars parked there doing nothing. So this businessman is an ability. How are you getting? Even to maintain them is an ability. What are you doing with them? But because his source of income is questionable and is not after profit, so that's why he's always gathering such kind of properties. But you see, some people, they don't even own houses because they think to own a house is the ability for them, if they are not going to put it for business, because it will incur some expenses, isn't it? For you, you have to spend for renovating them, for taking care of them, for other things, while they are not serving you any purpose there. So therefore, Allah says, if you perceive in them sound judgment, so relate their property. Now you can see that he's having 5 million naira, for instance, but he is using a phone of, let's say, 10,000, 20,000 naira. So you know that this guy is matured, isn't it? When his age mates were using iPhones and others, but he still, he didn't fall into that, isn't it? Rather, he's just focused on his business. So therefore, there is any evidence of maturity that if you are to give him millions of naira, he is not going to spend them wastefully. I hope you are getting it. So this is what Allah SWT is preparing to perceiving in them sound judgment. Whatever he is doing, whenever he is going to spend, he will always try to reason and justify the spending. Allah says to release their property to them. And do not consume it excessively and quickly. Don't consume their property excessively. Because you are going to spend, you can spend, it is allowed for you to consume their property. Allah says don't consume it excessively. If 500 naira is okay, please don't spend 1,000 naira. Don't spend 1,000 naira because it's not your property. You know, some people, whatever doesn't belong to them, they feel is just out. Yeah? They will just be spending it anyhow. So don't do that. Allah says, don't spend it, don't consume it excessively. And quickly. Don't also consume it quickly before they get matured. You see, you start spending the money so that you finish the money before they are matured. They don't know how much you are spending, they don't even know money, they don't know anything. So just be spending the money quickly. So Allah says, in anticipating that they will grow up, so that before they grow up, you have already finished the money. Don't do that, Allah says. And وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبَرُوا وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. Allah says, and whoever is self-sufficient should refrain from taking a fee. From among the guardian, as a guardian of the orphan, and you are taking care of his wealth, of his property, Allah says, out of the profits you generated or his wealth generated, do not take anything. If you are what? If you are self-sufficient, if you are rich, don't touch anything out of that. That is to tell you that, of course, you are the one who labored for that. Probably you even take the money and added it into your own capital, isn't it? So now, since you labored for it, you have the right to take some percentage as a commission for your labor, isn't it? That one is, but Allah said no. Since you have your own money, you are self-sufficient, do it for the sake of Allah. Look for reward from your Allah. Yes, of course, you are entitled to that commission for your labor, but Allah says, you should refrain from taking a fee. Do not take a dime out of it. Even though you suffered, you labored for it, don't take anything, Allah says. وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا, and whoever is poor, Allah says, فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, then let him take according to what is acceptable. You know, everything there is acceptable level of whatever you are doing. If you, for instance, you made a business and you realize a profit of, say, 5,000 naira, and out of 5,000 naira, maybe you take 500 naira, or you take 700 naira. You know, that one is very acceptable, isn't it? It's very acceptable. Because when you take 500 out of 5,000, it's just 10%, isn't it? When you take 700 or 800, maybe around let's say 15 or 14% of the entire profit. So whatever you are going to take, Allah says, should be an acceptable thing. In your community, in your society, whenever you do business for someone and a profit was realized, how much, for instance, is it expected that one should take as a commission as part of his labor? So do not exceed that. That's the meaning of فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, Then when you release their property to them, فَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, bring witness upon them. Don't just release the property to them. You should bring witness upon them that, okay, bear witness between me, you and Allah, that so Oban, who is under my custody, his father left behind so number of properties. And today, I want you to bear witness that I am releasing his entire property to him. There's no single kobo with me. You should bear witness. How bear witness? Today, you can do it in written. You can also call them, let them sign that yes, you have handed over his property to them. You are not holding anything from it. So this one, Allah says, وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا, and sufficient is Allah as accountant. Allah SWT knows whether there is witness or there is no witness. You can never dodge. Allah SWT is well accountable, is well accountant of whatever you are doing, and He will also hold you accountable of your actions. So وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا, Allah is sufficient. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ حَسِيبًا, Allah SWT is sufficient as an accountant. I hope you are getting this. So now here they say when you perceive sound judgment, you should release his property. So the question is, what if you didn't perceive that sound judgment in him? He attained marriageable age. He is now 20 years. Or he is now 18 years, isn't it? So let's consider it as marriageable age. He is now 18 years old. He has finished his secondary school and is now in tertiary institution or something like that. And from the look of things, he is not matured. There are people like that, isn't it? So what do you do? He has attained the marriageable age, but you didn't perceive that sound judgment. For the Abu Hanifa, he was of the opinion that you should add 7 years to that age, marriageable age, isn't it? Now, if we consider 18 years as marriageable age, for instance, and you have to add 7, so that means 25 years, isn't it? So when he is 25 years old, according to Abu Hanifa, whether he is mature, financially mature or not, you just have to give him his property. You just have to release his property. Why? Because he was trying to block any chances where the guardians will unlawfully withhold the properties of the person. If you allow that, they should continue keeping the property. They may perceive that sound judgment in them, while some may decide to hold the property. Therefore, for the Hanafi, they say that once you are 7 years old, you have to give him his property. Let him do whatever he wants to do with it. If he is going to spend it wastefully, then who is going to suffer? If you are going to suffer it, isn't it? So give him, release his property to him. But other scholars are of the opinion that no, you must satisfy this condition, that you must see some significant level of that sound judgment in him. You must perceive that before you can release their property to them. I hope you are getting it. Why? Because you may release the property to him at the age of 25. When he attains the age of 30, he might have spent the whole money, isn't it? And he may attain that maturity, financial maturity at that age. So what do? The money is already gone. How are you getting it? So it's better for you not to release the money and continue taking care of the money for him until when you perceive that sound judgment in him, rather than just giving him or releasing the property to him. So that's number one. Then secondly now, when you didn't also bring witness upon releasing their property, and later he denied. He said, no, Daddy, you didn't give me, I'm having 10 million for this, and you only gave me 4 million. remains 6 million naira. And you know that you have released the entire money to him. So they say, since you have not bring witness, then you have to pay back that 6 million naira. Why? Because Allah says, وَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِ. You should bring witness. You didn't bring any witness. So now he has all the right to deny. When you deny and there is nothing you can do, you have to take the responsibility. So that's the essence of bringing the witness. In case of any dispute, in the near future, you already have your witness that I have released the money. Otherwise, you have to take that responsibility. Allah says,
للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون مما قل منه أو كثر نصيبا مفروضا.
Allah says, للرجال نصيب. For men is a share مما ترك الوالدان, of what the parents or الأقربون and close relatives leave. Whatever a parent or a close relative leave, for men is a share of that. وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ. And for women also is a share مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ, of what the parents وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ and close relatives leave. Allah says مِمَّا قَلَّ مِنْهُ أَوْ كَثُرَ. Be it little or much, men and women, both of them are having share out of that. Nasiban, mafruḍan, an obligatory share that is going to be given to them. This verse is revealed in order to counter the practice of Jahiliyyah. The practice of Jahiliyyah is that women are not having any right for inheritance. They are not given any inheritance. They don't have any share of inheritance. Instead, they are even part of the inherited properties. They are even part of the inherited properties. So you inherit, when you inherit the property of your father, you also inherit his wives, other than your mother. So you inherit the mother of your brother and you also inherit your mother. So that's the practice of Jahiliyyah, because they are considered as properties. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevates their status. They say that no, they are not properties to be shared. Rather, وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ. They also have part, share out of that property. So look at this. So therefore, for those women who are being deceived that Islam is not being fair to them, let them understand the origin, where we came from Jahiliyyah. Look at what Islam has done for women. You understand? When they are even counted among properties to be shared, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that no, they are not properties, that you have to also share those properties with them. Can you see the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So therefore, men and women equally have a share, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to dictate or is going to tell us how we are supposed to share this according to the portions for each and every family member of the deceased. So Allah says for them is a share of what the parents and the close relatives reap, and for men, women also is a share. Whether it is little or it is much, that one is that one is not considered. Being it little or much, you have to give them something. But Allah says it is an obligatory share. There's no way you can even try to not to give them. It is an obligatory share. Once you share, you have to give it to them. That's nasiban mafruḍan. So I think it is time here. Maybe by tomorrow, inshallah, we will continue from where we stop. So therefore, let us try to appreciate our religion. Let us always try to challenge our culture, our customs, our traditions, and not our religion. Let us challenge civilization, modernization, and not our religion. Because Islam is a religion which has been fair to all. It has been fair to the male and it has been fair to the female. It has been fair to the followers. It has also been fair to the leaders. So wherever it has been fair to the rich, it has also been fair to the masses. Look at the Islam, there is that concept of justice in Islam. Hardly you get any religion or any custom or any tradition or any society as just as what Islam has provided. I hope you are getting it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us appreciate our religion, and may He also accept our ibadah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings, and may He count us among the ones He is going to forgive in this holy month of Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi